Hello everyone and all my dear students. In the last two lectures we spoke about transformational generative grammar as we said in our textbook in this course, the first course. And we spoke about traditional grammar and structural grammar. And transformational generative grammar, these all the three schools of grammar in our textbook. And also in chapter 2 in our second lecture we also spoke about transformational generative grammar, and we knew the main purpose of this chapter. That means to introduce the main rules of the sentence structure. And if we want to get back to the definition of this theory in linguistics, transformational generative grammar or transformational grammar is a part of the theory of generative grammar, especially of natural languages. It considers grammar to be a system of rules that generate exactly those combinations of words that form grammatical sentences in a given language, and involves the use of defined operations called transformations. Let us to focus on how to construct the sentence about this phrase to be a system of rules that generate exactly those combinations of words. There are combinations of words. We use them to construct the sentences and to generate the sentences from them. In our last two lectures, we explained just three rules. And in this lecture today, we need to explain something about all of these three components or three phrase structure, that all of these three phrase structure generate to another rules of grammar. Phrase structure 3 verb consists of verb phrase, auxiliary. This is the abbreviation that means auxiliary plus main verb, and there are the optional in a sentence as a complement of the sentence, let us to say for manner or place or time. This means that a verb phrase consists of an auxiliary, aux, this abbreviation as I said, a main verb, and optional adverbials of manner, quickly or with ease, or place, where or at home, or adverbials of time or adverb of time, then or at noon, or because of the noise. And phrase structure 4, auxiliary, go to tense in our structure. Phrase structure 5, tense, may be present or past. That means the tense in our sentence may be present or past. These two rules These two rules say that a main verb is to be rewritten as any one of the following structures. These two rules, phrase structure 4 and phrase structure 5, is to be rewritten as any one of the following structures. As we said, auxiliary, be, that means auxiliary. Noun phrase plus noun phrase. For example, in this sentence, this book is a text. This book is a text. Where is the auxiliary in this sentence? Of course, is. Be, that means. This book, this is the noun phrase. And this word, a text, combination of determiner, a, and noun. Also, there is a noun phrase. That means there is auxiliary plus noun phrase. In sentence number 2, auxiliary plus place. For example, in this sentence, Betty was in the car. Betty was in the car. That means there is auxiliary in the past, as we said in phrase structure 5, tense, present or past. In this sentence, there is was, be plus place, was in the car. In the car, this adverbial phrase. So adverbials of place. And in sentence number 3, auxiliary P plus adjective phrase, she was very rude. She was very rude. Where's the auxiliary? Was in this sentence. And where's the adjective phrase? Very rude. Very rude. From adjective rude and intensifier very. Sentence number 4, verb, just verb in a sentence. John ran. The verb run. And in sentence number 5, verb plus noun phrase, Bill sold the tickets. Verb sold, that means the main verb in a sentence. Noun phrase, the tickets. AB, this abbreviation is an abbreviation for adjective phrase, which consists of intensifier intense, this abbreviation for intensifier, such as very, extremely, or rather, etc. In a sentence, we get intensifier. Intensifier, we put it before the adjective, like very, extremely, rather, like very in this sentence, very rude. There is intensifier in this sentence, number 3. Here is the rule, structure, phrase structure 8. AB, as we said, abbreviation for adjective phrase, intensifier adjective. If we want to identify the words following verbs as a noun phrase, adverbs, etc., only a noun phrase may contain a determiner or be in the plural. Example, John turned the wheel. John turned the wheel. As you see, John turned the wheel. John turned the wheel. We know that the wheel is the noun phrase because of the determiner there. Because the word wheel is preceded by the determiner there. An adjective phrase may contain an intensifier. Example, they were rather friendly. Rather friendly is recognizable as an adjective. A phrase because of the intensifier rather, because the word friendly adjective preceded by the word rather as an intensifier. Some adverbials may also accompanied by intensifiers but not adverbials of place. Adverbials of place, that means it not preceded by intensifier. They are here. When we say they are here in this sentence, they are here, but not they are very here. It is not complete sentence. It is not contain the meaning. In we went to the bank is a prepositional phrase. Why we said prepositional phrase? Because there is preposition in a sentence, and after the preposition there is a noun used as an adverbial of place. Now in this lecture also we need to explain transformational grammar. In chapter 3, the auxiliary. In chapter 2, the rule of auxiliary is phrase structure for auxiliary then tense. Auxiliary then tense, as we said above. But phrase structure 5 tense, present, past. In chapter 3, the rule should be expanded. Look at the following sentences. In chapter 3, the rule should be expanded. Generate, that means. The rule, it will be generate. Look at the following sentences, how to generate the sentences and how to construct them. The bear sang in past tense. The bear was singing. How to generate this sentence? Let us to focus on it. The bear sang. This is main verb. This is main verb and this is noun phrase. The bear was singing. This is the noun phrase, the bird, and was singing is the sing is the main verb and was is auxiliary in a sentence, and there is a suffix ing in at the end of the verb. In the sentence number 2, the bird sings, you see the bird noun phrase and sings this the main verb in a sentence. How to generate it? The bird is singing in present continuous. But in this sentence, in the simple tense, the sentence number 3, I ate sandwiches. I ate sandwiches. How to generate it? We can say, I was eating sandwiches. I was eating sandwiches. This in past tense. And if you remember, we say noun phrase in a sentence may be pronoun. Like in this sentence, we get the pronoun as noun phrase or noun, or instead of noun. And this verb and this noun. I was eating sandwiches, noun phrase or noun. Instead of noun there is a pronoun, and was eating there is the combination of the verb in a sentence. In sentence number 4, I eat sandwiches. I eat sandwiches in present tense. I'm eating sandwiches in continuous tense. We generate the sentences like that. In the sentences on the left, these sentences on the left, tense is attached to the main verb. You look, the tense is attached to the main verb. The main verb in this sentence, sing, on the left, all of these sentences on the left, sing, sang, sings, ate, eat, attached to the main verb. Tense is attached to the main verb. Sings, present, and ate, past. In the sentences on the right, the main verb does not change with the variation in tense. It remains singing or eating, like in these sentences. On the right, singing or eating. Variation in tense is shown in the auxiliary, which is a form of be. All of these verbs in a sentence on the right, the sentences on the right, there is a verb be, was, is, was, am. There is the verb be, is singing, present, was singing, past, etc. Along with this form of be that has been added to the auxiliary, there is another morpheme ing, as I said, a suffix attached to the main verb. We can now make the first expansion or the first generate. The phrase structure for auxiliary tense be plus ing, this means that every auxiliary contains tense. Of course, every auxiliary contains tense, and the elements be and ing are optional of have in the auxiliary, and with it we added en sometimes to the verb. Example, have taken. That means the auxiliary may be in the present or in the past, and maybe in the present perfect, as have taken in the present perfect. So we see at the end of the main verb there is the suffix en. Now we can write rule phrase structure 4 as follows. Phrase structure 4, auxiliary tense have plus en. In some sentences, both be plus ing and have plus en may exit in the same auxiliary. When both are present, have plus en comes first. For example, in this sentence, they have been singing songs. They have been singing songs. There is pronoun as noun phrase, or instead of noun phrase there is pronoun. Have been, there is the structure of the verb. Have been singing. Have been singing, all of these structures of the verb preceding the main verb sing. And actually the main verb, there is a suffix on it at the end of the verb. And songs, there is the word noun phrase. In the sentence number 2, they had been singing songs. This is in the past perfect. They had been singing songs. Now we can expand the role phrase structure 4 like this. When we say we can expand, that mean we can generate. We can make another structure. That means phrase structure 4, auxiliary tense have plus en, as we said in this phrase structure 4, be plus ing. Let us see the tree of the following sentence. He had been smiling. He had been smiling. In this sentence, we need to make tree for this sentence. How to break it or how to generate it. As we said, we begin in a sentence, this abbreviation that means sentence, and the nucleus and noun phrase. I mean by the nucleus as the core of the sentence, or the core of the sentence, a nucleus. Noun phrase, then verb phrase. Noun phrase goes to noun, and verb phrase goes to some combinations, and verb phrase goes to some combinations. And verb phrase, there is main verb. There is a main verb. Let us to see these combinations in the verb phrase. In the verb phrase, there is auxiliary tense, have, and en as suffix in the verb, and be and ing as suffix also. As we said in this sentence, he had been smiling. How to break it, or how to generate it, or how to get the structure of this sentence? He as pronoun, as noun, or as noun phrase, instead noun phrase, or instead noun. There is pronoun he. Tense, there is past tense. Past tense, yes, there is past tense in a sentence. There is the auxiliary had, or model, let us to say about it. Past, have, en, as we said, be, ing, and there is the main verb smile. We need to make one final addition to the auxiliary. We need to make one final addition to the auxiliary. Examine the following sentences. I can give the answer now. She may be joking. We should have been leaving. Let us to see what there is in all of these sentences. These sentences have their auxiliaries expanded in addition of the following words: can, may, should. We call these new words models and use the abbreviation M for models. That means in any sentence there is a model before the main verb. You put it in the main before the main verb in a sentence. Models, and use the abbreviation M for the models. Have plus en, be plus ing. Phrase structure for auxiliary tense: models, have plus been, be or be plus ing. Here is a tree for that sentence. He could have been running. He could have been running. The tree of this sentence. Sentence, nucleus. Noun phrase, verb phrase. There is a structure in a verb phrase, or there is combinations in a verb phrase. Auxiliary. What are the combinations in this verb phrase, in this sentence? There is tense, and there is model. There is tense incomplete. There is tense in these combination, as you see, and there is model. The model could. And there is have as auxiliary, and there is en, and there is en in the verb be, en, and there is be, the verb be, and there is ing in the main at the end of the main verb. So we say he past tense could, he could, can, modal verb, can or could, have, en, be, ing. So this is all in this our third lecture in transformational generative grammar. But also I need to explain something about the transformational generative grammar. This simple model of the grammar brings out ideas that were to have a profound effect on its development in the 1980s. That means the theory it was in at the beginning. In particular, the grammar is split up into parts that have their own specific roles to play. Types of rule were needed. These rules a moderating effect on the existing rules, constraining their actions and allowing them to be greatly simplified. As we said, the phrase structure rules, to recap them or to outline them in our course, according to Chomsky's theory, as we said, the phrase structure 1, sentence, noun phrase, verb phrase, and phrase structure 2, verb phrase to noun phrase, and the phrase structure 3, noun phrase, determiner noun. And from all of these three phrase structure, we get the generation, we get the transformation to generate the sentences. These three rules describing the structure of all the sentences that we get it in generative grammar or in transformational generative grammar. So I had finished this lecture, and I will drop it in my channel on YouTube, and I wish to get the question from you if there is something is understandable. So any question, you can drop it for me in my channel under the comments, and I will read all your comments and I will answer them. So I wish for you all the best, and I wish for you the success in your life. Thank you very much for attention.